Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bunch of Nuts. This is Dan here with Cass. We got this week top 10 players in college football. We're doing a list, each of us. I think it's a pretty good list. I looked at yours, a lot of similarities. Just I think the order's a little different. There were some names here or there that were different, but we got a list.
Uh, I was looking into this, and these are basically with mine. They're what I think is going to be at by the end of the year, but also kind of tweaked in what's going to be for the beginning of the year as well. Because there's a guy on this list that I think is going to win the Heisman Trophy, and I'm sorry, Buckeye fans, I don't think he's wearing a Buckeye uniform either.
Ooh, do you want to share who you think it is?
Well, we will when we go through this.
Okay. I'm ready. Well, I guess we'll start from 10 and down.
Yeah, we'll start from 10 down.
I'll go first. My 10, I got Nicholas Singleton at Penn State. He's had 2 years over 1,000 yards in the Big Ten freshman year and last year. Um, Also has kind of proven he could be a receiving threat. Now he's a senior. Penn State is primed for, a great year. They're People have him as national championship favorites. Others, you know, a,
Like
a Big
me.
Ten favorite. Um, and he's the best player on Penn State. So I have him at 10. That's my logic right there.
I I have a yeah. I have Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas. Um, Great linebacker. Um, Probably the best player on Texas. I know there's a lot of Arch Manning hype, and I don't have Arch Manning in my top 10.
Mm.
But I have Anthony Hill Jr. He's just a solid linebacker. He impressed me in the Cotton Bowl. I just think he's that good.
I like it. I got number 9. I got Notre Dame's running back, Jeremiah Love. And I have him higher than Singleton because I just feel that Love, he's a special type of runner. Singleton's a good runner, but Love is more explosive and he can run through people more. Last year, obviously, rushed for over 1,000 yards. He's a sophomore. He really, I feel like, carried Notre Dame to where they went. And obviously, Notre Dame beat Penn State, and that run he had against Penn State was so epic. That touchdown run where he like just ran over three people.
He had like a 90 some yarder against Indiana
He
when he
did.
wasn't and when he wasn't even fully healthy either.
No, no, I think I texted you. I was like, he's looking like Zeke out there. So I have him at my 9.
At nine, I have Isaiah World, an offensive lineman from Oregon. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the country. And you know me, I love the offense. I love the trenches, and I love the offensive lineman. That's why I had to put him at number nine.
I like it. Um, I actually didn't have him on my list at all. I didn't have any offensive linemen on my list. My hot take was just I don't think there's a dominant offensive lineman this year. And obviously that can change. I just don't see any team having an elite tackle. And
There's two of them that have, I think, elite tackles, and that's Isaiah Ward and Caden Proctor from Alabama.
maybe Seaton at Colorado, but that's
Bag
really
chaser
it.
Seaton.
Yeah, I just think the offensive line position it's down this year. Um, But obviously, that's good. I feel like by the end of the year, that could totally change. But just looking at it, I didn't have a lineman. Number 8 is kind of hot take. I had Garrett Nussmeier on here, redshirt senior with LSU. Um, he is my second best quarterback on the list. I did not have LaNorris Sellers on here, and I just want to say I think Lenor Sellers might be in for like a season of regression and disappointment. I feel like he's overhyped. Like if you look at his stats, they weren't insane. Nussmeier actually passed for over 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns. He completed 64% of his passes. All his stats are better than Lenore Sellers, except just I feel like LSU underachieved. But Nussmeier himself in that offense with Brian Kelly, who's proven he can like develop really good quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels. I'm projecting him at number 8 because of that.
Number 8, I have TJ Parker, defensive lineman from Clemson. Um, Stats are there. Guy's a really good football player. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick, maybe pushing top 5 next year. I think he's that good.
I agree with that. I actually had him a little higher. I had him at 7. Um, 4 of his sacks did come against Pitt, but I mean, he is the anchor of the Clemson defensive line, and it's kind of funny. The Clemson defensive line, it's kind of back. It feels like Clemson is now kind of like old Clemson. If you kind of look at the team, they have some good defensive line play. They have a quarterback. It feels like Dabo kind of got his swagger back once he got into the playoff last year.
Yeah. My number 7 is going to be the September Heisman Trophy winner, Sellers, the September Heisman winner. I think everybody's going to fall in love with him. I think they got a big game in September, I believe, right?
hmm
Um,
Virginia Tech.
yeah, Virginia and
I believe
Virginia
it's
Tech.
Virginia Tech.
But I also think they got to play Alabama. Alabama comes to them, I believe. If he beats Alabama this year, he's going to New York. I I think Lenor Sanders is going to New York. He's not gonna win the Heisman. He's gonna win the September Heisman, like you said, because the guy I have above him is probably going to will probably because it's basically a quarterback award now. But because the guy I have at 6 is probably going to win the Heisman because I'm really high on this team that I'm going to say.
So I'll say this about LaNorris Sellers. Yeah, he's absolutely primed for the September Heisman. They play Virginia Tech, South Carolina State, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Kentucky. When they play LSU on October 11th, that's when the schedule kind of hardens. Goes LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss, A&M, Coastal Carolina, Clemson. I don't think he's going to be in. I just don't think he's going to be in New York. I don't see it, man. I think he's so overhyped. I like the concept of the guy, but I just think in practice I've seen this so many times. Um, I got number 6. I put Colin Simmons, Texas, the backer, won freshman of the year over Jeremiah Smith. Really productive, 9 sacks. Gotta say he did look good against Ohio State. Um, Obviously we were kind of salty going to the show that Jeremiah Smith didn't win the freshman of the year, so I kind of like sold him short. But after watching him play, I'm like he's a dang good player. So
I
I
agree.
and I think
I don't even have him in the top 10 though.
oh no, I totally get that. But I think when you pair him with another guy on this list with Texas, um,
Anthony Hill.
it's gonna be that's one of the best duos in football,
Yeah.
honestly.
Number 6 is going to be your Heisman Trophy winner, Cade Klubnick from Clemson.
Hmm.
Um, can you imagine though if LaNorris Sanders, like, because he's at 7 for me, but can you imagine if LaNorris Sanders has that season that everybody's hyping up to be? They go down. I'm not saying they're good. They go down and maybe beat LSU or Alabama. They get a chance to get to the SEC title game, and the winner of the Clemson South Carolina game is going to be the winner of the Heisman Trophy. Like that, it could possibly happen. I know you're not high on the Lenore Sanders
LaNorris
because
Sellers.
Sellers, what I called him Sanders. I'm sorry,
Shador.
Lenore. Yeah, he got pulled over for 101 mile an hour today. But Lenore Sellers and Cade Klubnik, like, can you imagine the hype of the Clemson South Carolina game if that happens? It's not going to happen. I like Lenore Sellers, as you can see, because it's kind of one of those things where some of these guys that I ranked preseason, and some of them, these guys I ranked where they're going to be at the end of the year, if that makes sense. Because I'm right there with you. I think he's going to go to New York, Lenore Sellers, but I don't think he's going to win the Heisman because I think Clemson is has a real good shot of going undefeated, and with the Heisman being a quarterback award, because I now the most deserving guy is going to be in my top 5. There's going to be a couple guys that are probably be most deserving, but Cade Klubnik, because it's a quarterback award anymore, will probably win the Heisman if Clemson is able to only lose one or go undefeated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. hop into number five. I got Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas. I put Simmons and him basically next to each other because they're like I said, they're gonna be such a
Like
dynamic
a
duo.
5A, 5B type thing.
Literally, I, I don't know which one's better to be honest. I think Simmons is pretty dang good. I know you didn't have him on your list. I think with Simmons, it's gonna be like what came
He'd
first.
probably be
It's
11 because
it's
I
gonna
had
be like
Isaiah World.
what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because like who makes who better? I think we're getting more data this year on that. But Anthony Hill Jr. just for so people like who are aware, freshman All American 2023, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year 2023, first team All SEC 2024, first team All American. 5 sacks his freshman year, 8 sacks last year, over 113 tackles. Just a pure linebacker, man. Just he can play basically anywhere on linebacker. He's just a stud. Um, and he is definitely he's someone up there who can definitely contend with like Caleb Downs to win some major hardware, I think.
My number 5 is a guy who probably should win the Heisman. Another guy that probably should win the Heisman that probably won't because I think Klubnick's going to win it. Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. I think he's the best running back in the country. He's arguably, outside of Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, probably the best playmaker in college football. And Notre Dame, like, there's uncertainty what CJ Carr is going to do at quarterback, and why not give it to your All American running back every play? Like, Notre Dame could have honestly a year this year where in 2017, 2015 season, where Alabama and Ohio State gave it to their All American running backs every play.
Yeah,
And that's what kind of reminds me of what Marcus Freeman does, because what Marcus Freeman may do is going to be a tough, hard nosed running football team with a tough defense, and their schedule's not terrible. Like, it's not hard, but like again, I Jeremiah Love, he's good. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick, or should be. But he's at my number 5.
at at my number four, and I'm a preface this as this. He might be the most overhyped player in college football. Honestly, this kid, like LaNorris Sellers. I know I was saying he's overhyped. This guy might overtake him. It's Dylan Stewart from South Carolina.
He's my number 3.
The production wasn't there. It was good for a freshman. It was very good for the SEC. Like I'll say that. Um, like six. Oh, hold on, let me pull it up. It was like 6.5 sacks. Um, yeah, 6.5 sacks, three forced fumbles. Pretty good year. 6'6", 248 pounds. SEC, like I believe he won SEC. He didn't win SEC freshman year. He was SEC all freshman team. Um, but everyone compares him, and he's a 5-star recruit. Everyone compares him to Jadeveon Clowney. He's going to be a consensus top 5 pick in the 2027 NFL draft. That's why I have him there. I want to put an asterisk on this and be like, I don't believe in this guy. But I know you have him higher on your list, and everyone has him hyped. So I put him at 4. Um, and that's just my reasoning.
I have Ryan Williams at 4. Um, Great player, great wide receiver. Sorry, people, he's not better than Jeremiah Smith. Um, but Ryan Williams, rightfully so. Him and Jeremiah Smith are All American wide receivers. Um, and I just think he, they both got good. They both got new quarterbacks this year, but he's a good player. He's top 4. It's hard to
You
explain.
think I didn't have him in my top 10? Do you think the spin move, like against Georgia, I feel like that's kind of what everyone sees. And then you look at the rest of his numbers, and like he didn't break 1,000. I don't know.
He's great. He's a good player.
He's a
Great player.
great player. I just don't know if he's top 10 worthy yet, is my thing.
Yeah. So yeah.
He's top 10 most explosive, I would say, easily, without a
Oh
doubt.
yeah.
Um, I just don't know if he's top 10. I don't know if I trust him as a receiver yet, if that makes like I don't know if I trust him to go make a possession catch. Like he's a dynamic weapon, but we'll see. Um, number three, I got
He's
Cade
definitely
Klubnik.
not getting double teamed.
No, number three, I got Cade Klubnick. I agree with everything. I agree with everything you said. I too think he's going to win the Heisman. Um, I mean, and the reason I have him as my number one quarterback is just I feel like he is the one who throws the football down the field very well compared to all the other quarterbacks last year. 36 touchdowns, 6 picks, 3,600 yards. Obviously won the ACC, got Clemson into the playoff. Um, he's been productive and he's going to get a lot better this year. And this is a big year for Cade. Like he could definitely propel himself, I think, into a first round pick status here with a good performance. And I do agree. He is probably the front runner for the Heisman preseason if I'd had to take a stab at it.
I have Dylan Stewart at number three. Uh, he's just so explosive. I've liked him a lot. I do think he's going to get penalized a lot for his little shotgun, his little
Oh,
uh, gun celebrations this year. But like, he's obviously a dude that also chased a bag too, because he had the chance to come to Ohio State, but chased more money. Rightfully so. The guy deserves it. I mean, think about it. If he did come to Ohio State and had the year he did last year at South Carolina, can you imagine Ohio State trying to play Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Smith, and Dylan Stewart? Oh my gosh.
that'd be crazy. Yeah. The crazy thing is last year he probably wouldn't even played that much. I mean, he would have played, but like JTT, Jack Sawyer, Ty Hamilton, he would have rotated probably in for
If he came last year, Kenyan Jackson is not in a Buckeye uniform.
yeah. Which, but like I liked Kenyatta did such a good job in the playoff, like coming in as a rotational guy. I don't know if
And,
Stewart would have been an upgrade, to be honest.
hey, but you know what? EA Sports added fuel to Kenyatta Jackson's fire, man, with the trailer that came out while we were out, where they had Bryce Underwood juking Kenyatta Jackson out of his. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we all know why because the EA Sports producer guy is from Michigan, so that's a
yeah. I was
whole
surprised
separate
Bryce
story.
Underwood wasn't front. I mean, I know he's on the cover, but like not front and center.
Yeah. I saw an argument on Twitter before we get back to this. It was just like about Donovan Edwards and Travion Henderson, and a Michigan fan was just trying to like defend, still say that Donovan Edwards is better, but like Donovan Edwards went undrafted to the Jets, and Travion Henderson is a second round pick to the Pats, and it's just like those those two franchises are like the most polar opposite franchises.
Now I will say, hear me out. Obviously, I still think Travion Henderson's better running back, but if Tony Alford was still the running backs coach, he would have ran Quinshon Judkins in the ground, and you would have saw Travion Henderson not do much, and Travion Henderson would probably would have went undrafted.
No, he's too explosive. He would have been like a fourth or fifth round pick though.
Yeah, if Master T got, that's what's crazy. No, Master T didn't get drafted, but like, if Mike Weber was able to get drafted in the fifth round, fifth or sixth round, I believe it was. That makes Mike Weber better than Donovan Edwards.
Yeah. Mike Weber was a seventh round pick in 2019, 218th overall pick, and he won a Super Bowl. So yeah,
Hey,
that checks out
you
right
know
now.
what? We haven't got Michigan fans going yet this week. We're going to start it. Mike Weber's Jr. is a better running back than Donovan Edwards.
I mean, you could make that argument, honestly. Outside that Donovan Edwards won a natty with an asterisk, and he didn't even play that good in the natty season. He just had one good game. I mean, Mike Weber's college career, he was always consistent, bro. And
Yeah.
Mike Weber had a
So
phenomenal
let's
college
go back to finish our list, and then we can go back to this conversation.
career.
Um, Obviously, top two, the same as probably me, but different order. I have Jeremiah Smith, number two. Um, I mean, it's Jeremiah Smith, uh, best offensive player in the country. Should win the Blanticoff Award this year. should have won it last year, to be honest with you. Um, but guy gets doubled and triple team. It's Jeremiah Smith, man. Like, and I'm sorry, whatever Notre Dame former football player, overrated football player, Leonard Moore. Great, is it Leonard Moore?
Yeah, Jonas Gray.
Jonas, Willow was the DB from Notre Dame. Is it Leonard
Yeah,
Moore?
no, it was Leonard Moore, but Jonas Gray was the guy who
Yeah. So
saw.
Jonas Gray says Leonard Moore uh, locked up Jeremiah Smith, which we all know that did not happen. Like if Leonard Moore was that, he was a great player, but if he was the best defensive back in the country, he would have went 1-on-1 all game long against Jeremiah Smith.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt about that. I got my number two. I have number two for Ohio State, Caleb Downs.
He's my number one.
I know it's it pained me to put him at two because you know me, I love the safety position, but at the end of the day, the different and you have him as number one. I have Jeremiah Smith as number one. We
One
can
A, one B.
yeah,
One
we can talk about this right now. I just think Jeremiah Smith's generational. I think he's the new Randy Moss, the new, just
wait.
Megatron, just that stud receiver from this
I
generation that cannot be stopped.
he's Jamar Chase built like T.O.
Yeah. Yes. And that itself is so scary, dude.
with Randy Moss's ball skills.
And you just can't like how impactful he is on offense and how, he can just take
Dude.
games over and be that go-to guy. Not saying that Caleb Downs isn't that on defense, but Jeremiah Smith can put up, he can
So
put up three touchdowns himself.
so listen here. This is it. He runs like Jamar Chase. He's built like T.O., has the ball skills of Randy Moss, has the hands of Larry Fitzgerald,
Yeah.
all in one receiver, Jeremiah Smith. I have Caleb Downs, and hear me out.
Huh?
We don't beat Penn State without Caleb Downs.
Like for the
How
run
many
stopping.
shoestring tackles did he have?
Yeah.
He also had, in the last 10 years, one of the loudest moments in the Horseshoes history in the last 10 years with his punt return for a touchdown last year.
So Caleb Downs does everything correct, but none of it's like outside like the punt return. None of it's
None
like
of it's
pretty. None of it's
none of it's off the charts.
no, and that's he's so good though. You're absolutely correct. Like I don't think he made a single bad play last year. Like tell me a time where Caleb Downs was out of position once last year or like missed a
The
tackle.
only time he made a bad play is when a 6'6" tight end stiff armed him to the ground,
But then
and then
the
they
guy
then gave
got
him the finger.
and then yeah, the guy was so hyped he got a playoff on Caleb Downs that he ended up getting a penalty.
Yeah,
Like Jeremiah Smith, like he dropped the first pass against Akron, and then the OPI. Man, though.
the OPI. Come on, that was not an offensive
And
pass.
well, I mean, I'm just I can at least point to two plays that Jeremiah Smith were like, oh, he could have done better. Caleb Downs,
We don't beat Penn State without him.
yeah, no, yeah, I think you make great points. I might have to move him up to number one. Um,
He
that's a
might be
good
the
one.
first. He might. They're talking about he might be the first safety ever to be drafted number one overall. But he won't be because teams are stupid and will draft LaNorris Sellers number one overall.
No, dude, they're gonna draft Garrett Nussmeier number one or something after he goes off for LSU. It's gonna be so
Dude, the
silly.
Jaguars are going to get rid of Trevor Lawrence and they're going to draft Garrett Nussmeier or Cade Klubnick or LaNorris Sellers. Heck, they might even move Travis Hunter to quarterback at this rate.
Oh my gosh, don't no God.
Anyways,
Oh,
going back to Mike Weber is a better running back than Donovan Edwards.
this I'm pulling up the numbers. Do you have Donovan Edwards stats in front of you and stuff?
You want his career stats?
Yeah, let's read it off to me.
All right, 1 second. Donovan Edwards' career stats are he rushed for
Hmm.
422 carries, 2,251 yards, averaging 5.3 yards a carry, and only 19 touchdowns, averaging 45 yards a game.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I don't think this is I don't think this is even close because I'm looking at Mike Weber. He had 2,000 yard seasons. He redshirted 1 year too. I want to point out the Don did not. So he really did this in 3 seasons. He had 2,772 yards, 24 rushing touchdowns, and then one receiving touchdown. And
Here, I'll send you the ESPN
won the
stat.
Big Ten multiple times, obviously, from what are you, 26, 2017, 18, won the two Big Tens, Big Ten freshman of the year, second team All Big Ten. The Don, he has a natty, and he's a Big Ten championship game MVP of 2022. It's tough. It's a tough argument, but I think I gotta give it to Weber, man. Unbiased.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we haven't got the Michigan fans riled up because they were actually agreeing with us last week. We were trying to get Notre Dame fans riled up, and they didn't bite because they're smart. They're
They've been
Catholic. They're
nice to
smart.
us lately. They've been the Michigan fans have been like kind of nice at. They're not taking the bait. It's interesting.
Maybe the hammer is coming. Who knows?
I don't know. They're not taking the bait. Like they were laughing at the videos I was posting about John O'Corn overthrowing the Middle East. So, and then one of them commented, Joe Milton. I was like, "Don't you put his name in here."
Joe Milton. I
um,
mean, let's be real. Let's be real. I mean, Michigan. The thing is the Bart Simpson, the Bart Simpson meme that I found on Facebook was pretty hilarious, and then you added the asterisk. That even made it even more funny. And then the Michigan fan that tried to bounce back left the asterisk. Like, but like Notre Dame, like it's like a cycle, man. I made that cycle a couple months ago. Like we were about Miami and Oregon fans, and then Notre Dame fan. Like the Notre Dame fan at work is like, well, you get all these 5 stars, but you don't have very many national championships to go for. I was like, bro, since the AP poll came out in 1950, Ohio State has the second most national championships behind Alabama with 9.
Literally,
No, I mean with 8. No.
are they really counting pre-World War
I was like,
II?
bro, you guys had the number one quarterback in the nation come out. You want to know what that one year out of high school when he was a 5 star and he turned out to be a turd, and everybody knows who that was. He wore number 7 after Brady Quinn.
Jimmy Clausen?
Jimmy Clausen?
I don't know who
Yeah,
was it. It was Jimmy Clausen.
I think it was.
He was okay. He's no Mike Weber.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Clausen. Dude's 37. He's my age? He's a year older than me.
What's depressing is I'm 30, I'm old, and I'm like in the same grade as like Zeke and Joey Bosa and Mike Thomas and all them, and it's just like it's sad because it's like they're fading out of the NFL right now, and it's like yeah, my back hurts when I wake up to.
But like even Miami, that one Miami fan that's on Twitter that
Kylo
always
Ren, shout out Kylo Ren.
he's always excuse my language, dick riding Michigan fan, like Michigan right now. Like
I love Kylo. He just he he's the meme of the they capture like the Japanese soldier after World War II, like 40 years later, and he's still fighting because he didn't get the alert that like the war was over, and like Miami has not been relevant for 20 years, 25 years, and he's still fighting like it's 2001, man. I love it.
and then you
Uh,
got and then you got the idiot idiot podcast that's always negative and always complaining when Ohio State don't get these guys that are chasing bags. Ohio State don't sign guys out of high school that are chasing bags. That's
Yeah,
not who they are.
you come here to be great. Cass, we have about 30 seconds.
By
That's
the way,
all.
that certain podcast has a 1.4 star rating on Apple Pods.
Tough scene. Thank you everyone for listening to the Bunch of Nuts podcast. Give us a 5-star rating and give the Scarlet and Gray podcast a bad rating.
Hey, I wasn't naming. I wasn't
they,
name dropping.
they suck. Go Bucks.